Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Terra Invicta, episode number 10, as the Academy. And I've been really enjoying the storyline, which is, of course, Academy specific. It actually makes me really want to get through this playthrough and start doing other ones. In particular, there's one storyline in particular which I think would be horrifying and awesome to actually put on YouTube. Probably other people have already done it, I'm sure there's so many people out there, but in my opinion it's like grotesquely interesting, but deeply fascinating. You probably already know what I'm talking about, but anyway. Construction module. We got this. This is great. We're going to return to our xenology research, which is... Hopefully it didn't cost us too much that we deviated from that momentarily. And now we also have the option to do this found a platform, which we're going to do in low Mars orbit. That's going to only take... Well, it's going to take 240 days. We'll found it. There it is. And I'm going to get a construction module going here. We didn't necessarily need to do this so quickly, but I think probably comes down to me being a little potentially confident that I'm going to forget. Anyway, this is also going to require some fissile income because we really what's the energy generation from solar panels here? 5? 4? Yeah, it's just not worth it. So we'll take it on the chin, we'll do a fissile pile. Ooh, man, it's just so cheap. It's less than 1 for everything except for base metals, and we still have plenty of base metals, so we can do it. That's going to allow us to build things much quicker over in Mars. So how it works as far as I know is basically the nearest construction module is what the time to build something is based off of. And Mars, you know, it is closer to the asteroid belt, so in theory, even if launching some things that we want to build in space, some of those may complete a lot faster, depending on orbits and whatnot, based on constructing them from Mars instead. So this should have a very nice... it's a base on Mars is just, I think, a no-brainer. I don't know if it is a no-brainer, but it feels like it should be. You know, it's supporting our massive number of mining operations there. So we'll do the same thing here. Construction module. Did I just get this? Is a fissile. So then we get a construction module, which takes the 10 power. That's the only thing I'm going to do right now for this. We could get another fissile pile and then another, a space dock, for example. We could do something else. But I think for now that's where I'll stop, because that's what I absolutely need. And with the construction module going up, anything else I build from here on in will be a lot easier to build anyway. So might as well just wait for all of that to finish and then, well, it's only been 1 day, but I forgot to mention the time anyway, and I should continue to do that, by the way. It's early April 2027, and we have turned our next counselor. I, again, have been kind of hunting out counselors, and, look at all the people who are in the same spot. I believe that I had somebody investigating, somebody turning... I'm not actually sure what the third person was doing there, but, that's how it goes, man. You gotta invest a lot of resources into keeping in touch with the other faction's agents, which is what I had been doing. So now we have a turned counselor. That's great. We can actually go and see what all the servants are up to. And I haven't really checked on this screen for a while. Let's maybe just blow through without any prep what exactly is going on with all the other factions. Okay, so I see the servants are below 300, which is like everybody else except for Project Exodus and Humanity First. At least the resistance is really close. Actually, the servants are really close. The initiative in this playthrough is just laying a big turd. I don't know why they're doing so poorly. 23, yeah, they're the worst in terms of research besides the servants, which is music to my ears. Although the servants, they have their other ways of doing things anyway. I might have been a little bit to blame here. I haven't been super aggressive against the initiative, although they kind of think I have, since they're... Oh, good, they're no longer... Oh, no, the servants are at war with me. Anyways, it fluctuates, but if it's just the servants at war with me, that's fine, because they have... I don't understand Humanity First. Why are you doing that? But they have a few other people who they need to deal with. Project Exodus, the Resistance. So, hopefully that'll keep them busy. Anyways, let's look at research. I am making 83. I am over double second place, which is Humanity First. That explains why we're having a hard time holding on to the mission to Jupiter one, because they have half my research, and I'm really spread thin all around. Intentionally, to, better the, it's the maximize utility type thing. Although it means that I'm going to have to let slip that tech. Okay, so we can see also the actual resource income. Resistance somehow has base metal income, but nothing else. It's a little surprising to me. Actually, it's almost unanimously the Is it because of the moon? Maybe it's because of the moon. I'm assuming that the moon gives a lot of base metals, but doesn't give a lot of everything else. So daily-wise, people are all negative for water. Okay, initiative is actually positive for water. That's a big thing. But everyone else is negative. And they're plus 0.4, and I'm 10 times more than that. Yeah, we're in good shape. I think we're doing great. So for some reason, I don't know why we have such good vision over what Project Exodus is doing, but we do. They have solid core fission reactor 4 that they're about to finish. I haven't done any research on these, and you would know because I haven't, done. Publicized alien threat, I like that a lot. Alien movements, 2,000, so we'll just keep an eye on this, and then maybe, now that we have somebody penetrating them, we can do, the whole sabotage their research thing, which, is anything you can do to set back the servants is necessary in my opinion. It's very, very valuable. Although I'm not going to come back in for all the probes now, I think we do have to pay special attention to Ceres. And Ceres has some interesting values. I think the Yellow crater, as I've seen this several times, where the Yellow crater has a really good resource amount. It's a little bit interesting only because I think the Hanami and the Yellow are mineable, but pretty low volatiles on the other ones. This will be like pretty much all the way. If we're gonna go for it, right? Let's just, just take me there. I'll just go and do it right now. So this should be all the water that we're gonna need. I mean, I don't know that that's true, but I think it's true. So let's just go ahead and snatch up at the cost of 9 boost each, which we can definitely afford. Let's grab both. Yellow crater. And let's also get Hanami crater. So that should be like a ton of water. That should just be a ton of water and a really good source of volatiles. We'll get some, we've taken the 2 sites with base metals. Each one of those has either rare metals or fissiles. So lots of good stuff here. I think, I don't know if you can regret such a decision. It could even become like everything. We could take all the water if we want. This is a lot of water. You could do it almost as a mechanism of denying other people water. In fact, one of the things I would like to see in this game, there's lots of different things I've been thinking about, just playing around with stations. I'm really hoping that they make a thing where you can have a template for station designs or base designs on the ground, and then you can change that one time and then apply it to everything. Because now it's starting to become we haven't experienced this in this playthrough, but it's becoming a bit tedious to go through every design. And, if you have a standard template and you could just upgrade that would be great. Okay, anyway, Ceres is fine. We'll probably eventually put a platform here too, but I think we don't need it right now. We don't need it right now, so we'll leave it out. Because we are going to be starting to push our mission control points if we aren't careful. Sanctioned investigations. I'm not even sure what we're going to be doing next. I could just push on with guerrilla warfare. We're a little bit over the CP thing, so I could go back to management research since, the relative cost of this is going down since, it goes up by 1,000 every time, but my research is going up, so. This is interesting. I'm not sure I want that, actually. So when we're conquered, I do want unrest going up if I want to reconquer it, but right now there's a lot of territory being exchanging hands that is just by the nature of crackdowns and such. Hybrid revolt events less likely to happen to us. We're better able to resist disruption to our mission control. This is pretty good. Spins off a new org to the faction pool, which is always nice too. Maybe I'll go with this. Another good one is have accidents. Eventually one day we'll get some actual space technology too. But yeah, I think that at this point, what do we have out there? We have Mission to Jupiter, which I'm currently not funding anymore. That'll be finished on the 25th of June, which is, we're at the end of May here. Yeah, let's do it. So let's try to sneak in the cheaper of the two, which is both of them, 2,500, pretty cheap. Let's get this one. I think it's because we have this servants that we've turned and we have their intel, that we have like really good intel on this alien. And it's interesting that you can actually see all the aliens' missions, including abductions, gather some humans from a region to study how to improve alien ability to control them, and through all public, aliens domesticate a portion of the human population in this nation. I guess this is tantamount to a super public opinion. They have enthrall unaligned elites, which gives a control point to the servants. And then they have enthrall elites, which I'm guessing is essentially a purge mission. Last but not least, they have xenoform, leave native alien bioforms scattered around the region. In time, they should subjugate native life, render humans more pliable, and eventually grow great herds of fauna that will hinder the human economy. So yeah, I don't know. This is interesting to see those. We also have the possibility, I was going to do an investigate mission, but there is the possibility of assassinating this guy. 22% chance. I mean, this is kind of similar to the chance I had before. I can probably manipulate his espionage like I've done before. I have like kind of on call. There it is. the Mirak intelligence, which will give us 3 extra espionage. So we can basically think of it as 3 on top of whatever the max of this is, or if I want to take a lower percentage chance not to throw away all my ops points. Let's see, 5, 4, 5. So the next one's probably 6. 28% chance. I can do a 28% chance only using 16 points of ops. So that's a 1 in 4 chance, and I can put Hongcho on defense so that Furkan doesn't die. It's a real possibility. I'm not sure. The only downside to doing it, as least as far as I would say, is somewhere in orbit. There is Victor 16. And this is essentially, as far as I know, I mean, I don't know. I'm not certain about this, but I'm guessing that this is effectively an agent in the bag for them, which means that my killing an agent will lead to Victor 16 crashing, and that will lead to the replenishment, basically immediate replenishment of the alien. So from that perspective, it doesn't really gain us much other than the alien's ire. Okay, well, I think I'm not going to do this assassinate, but I'll come back and I'll let you know. I mean, hey, I'll let you know if it happens, at least. And then we have another technology about to finish. And there it is. Humaniverse has finished Mission Jupiter, and they've selected Arrival Security next. This allows some probes to be launched, which we should do that in a moment. But since Arrival Security has been picked up, which is actually great, because it's military tech, which nobody else is using right now, and I'd really like to basically to get that. So it's like the perfect choice. Thank you, Humanity First. I think there's probably better choices, but it's something good. It's not a numbskull choice. And it looks like we're going to have to wait a little while until the end of August now. It's end of June. To get the next tech. Oh, nope. We get one. My goodness, we're going to finish this in just one more month. Devolve Space Command. Fantastic. Really, I guess before I do anything, let's explore some of the stuff with Jupiter. First of all, let's find Jupiter. There she is. Occupied though she is by alien on Io, huh? Is this one with the... Yeah. Well, I mean, I can do it this way too. We're going to want to send probes, but looks like the launch window isn't spectacular. It's... Okay, the best launch window... Now, the one thing I don't know, and if people know this, if you wouldn't mind sharing the knowledge in the comment section, I'd really appreciate it. The optimal launch window is November 27th. But, that'll mean that the total amount of time it takes to get there is less. But, if I launch now, will I still arrive ahead of somebody launching then? It's the age-old question. Is does it more than make up for the time you waited? Or is it still just slower, but overall you'll get there, chronologically, you'll get there before somebody who launches later? That I don't know. I'm going back over to this, and solar system, and we can actually sort by number of bases, because it turns out Jupiter has a lot of bases with a lot of stuff. I mean, I guess I could find out myself. I could do 2 and 2. So we'll launch at, what did I launch at? Callisto and Ganymede. And there's Io and Europa as well, which have 9 platforms each. So I guess I can launch those a little bit later. We're not going to be able to get the one with an alien base anyway, so I might as well launch at Europa. And then I'll leave IO until, God, if I remember, a couple months later, and I'll see if that one is going to arrive sooner or later than the other ones I just launched. I guess I could search by this and like water. Yeah, there's a couple more. Yeah, I mean these are actually good. Let me launch. Of course, the launch window for all these is terrible, but and this is taking. I don't even know how much boost it's taking. I got rid of a lot of my boost trading it to humanity first. I think I already mentioned that. But just in case you're wondering again, why is my boost so low? I mean, not that it really matters. Oh, this was actually really close. Okay, we'll do it. And it has fizzles as well, so I'm kind of glad I did that one. Quick update on our people. Hong Cho has accrued 40 XP. And why, Tortuga, did you waste so much time giving him to level up? Because especially he has administration ready to go. Well, I actually decided it's time to switch them over from chemist to senior chemist. This gives an additional 10% in whatever, any jump from science to senior science gives a jump of from 15 to 25, so by 10% to the research category, and an additional 5 research, and it gives +1 science. So although you're waiting until 40, it gives you, some research, some research points, some research efficiency, and then it gives you 1 science, which would cost 20 anyway. So I think this is a really, really good choice. Go ahead and do that. And I think somebody else here, I don't really know what to do with Angela. She has 14 administration given to her by other things. She has 12. The only one of the organizations that I would want to get rid of, she has Filfla, I don't know what that is. And then White Fang. White Fang is everyone's favorite, but actually Filfla is really, really good as well. So those two I don't want to take off of her anyway, because they're really good. And then the last one is Sphinx. Unfortunately, this one is 6 administration. It's going to be very hard for her to work 6 administration off. She's 5 away from it, so she could be 4 away from it if I do it now. I haven't really figured out what's the best long-term strat to do with experience. None of my people have any of the quick or whatever it is, the reduced XP cost for picking on skills, which I think is extremely good in this game. So persuasion will give us more CP, and Angela mostly does persuasion type things, so that's probably what I'll end up doing. The alternative is maybe give her command so that she, I don't know what she would be using command for. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and give her persuasion. Alrighty, parasites has been completed. Where a pheromone is a chemical that can influence the recipient's behavior, our investigation of this so-called parasite reveals that it is an actual living cell. The distinction is that a pheromone's effect wears off relatively quickly, whereas parasites are capable of reproducing in the recipient's body, thereby extending the effect for significantly longer. When cross-referencing fMRI scans with electroencephalographic data, we find that an awake subject's brain exhibits an abnormally high level of theta waves. These are normally only present during REM sleep or deep hypnosis, and, when as copious as seen in a parasite-affected subject, will make them unusually suggestible. So increases our defense against alien parasites. Alright, now much has become clear. Hydra parasites are adaptive mind control agents. They are released into the air, are inhaled or ingested into the target's bloodstream, and travel from there to the brain, where they suppress the target's desires and loyalties and replace them with new directions, effectively enslaving them. They are clearly a natural evolution rather than the result of bioengineering. The implications are enormous. For Hydras, taming and controlling other species would be as instinctive as language or tool use is to us. They would have developed advanced techniques of animal husbandry before inventing fire or the wheel. This would in turn have shaped their entire culture. To Hydras, other species are not rivals or companions. They are first and foremost resources, to be tamed and trained. When Hydras look at humans, their first instinct must be to view us as we would view a feral cat or dog. It feels sometimes as though all of our research since first contact has been one piece of bad news after another. How can we possibly negotiate with creatures who view us as we would a stray pet? The task seems overwhelming, yet it must start with a better understanding of the Hydra parasites. Well, we're really in it now, huh? I mean, the story keeps moving and I love it. Okay, so research Hydra containment. Oh no. I guess that'll become available pretty soon here. While our analysts are still divided on the best approach to defend against the Hydra parasites, all agree that we will need a live Hydra for study. It seems unlikely one will stay by choice. Well, it's interesting too. Another thing I saw on one of the aliens, although I don't think any alien is visible currently, is there's a defense based on an alien defense based on the number of aliens that have died or been captured. I find that fascinating because I don't actually know if aliens should be getting harder or easier to capture after the first one. Like maybe you could say it multiple ways, right? There's lots of different viewpoints, but you could say, for example, oh, it becomes easier to capture them because now we know what we're doing. Or you alternatively could say, oh, it gets harder because the aliens are more alert to humans trying to get them. I don't know. So it's kind of interesting that they have that. They have a security stat, but then also aliens will, as time goes on, I presume, they're going to get harder because that's generally the way games work. Stats go up across the board, including enemy stats, friendly stats. It's the middle of July, so we'll see you back in a second. In fact, I'll see you back right now because I forgot to pick a new research. And we're in this weird zone for, like a week or two until the new research comes up. We are going to pick something which is not at all related to the xenology. We have no xenology research to do. There's always management research, which will give us another 5 points, although we aren't really up against it for CP. Like, the next thing I might want to do as far as, like, nations go is just fully take the EU, including integrating with Germany and all that, and that's probably more CP than I can afford right now, because it would be 3 extra CPs of... I think they're like 18 each or so. So you can imagine it's going to be around 60, which we definitely don't have room for. So for now, I'm just happy to let those control points sit. Even though it's sitting in the servants' hands, they're essentially making the nation better for me, and I can show you. I have this internal debate like almost every mission period. Is it time to throw them out? Well, they are all just upgrading the military. Oh, look at this. The initiative is going for spoils. That's the first time that I have seen them do something which I'm not happy about. So now it's going to be time to kick the initiative out. They've crossed the line. Doesn't even get them that much because they only have 1 of the 5. And spoils, anyway, I think it's a really stupid move for the initiative. The AI, the computer move here is not as smart. That's not a smart player move. Where's the perfect example? Yeah, this one. So they're helping me out. They're basically doing military. Okay, that does suppress government, but at the same time, when you have 9.2 for your Civil War unrest stat, I think military is kind of the appropriate option. Back to the research. Let me just pick up... Do we have... No, we don't have any social science, so we'll do this one for a little bit. Put some points in and then, yeah. Oh, I love the research. So we got Devolve Space Command. I just barely started management research when the alien containment came up, so there, we're back on that. Alright, so we have finished Arrival Psychology, and we were the person to finish it, which means that we are the one to get to pick the next tech. This allows for psyops and interrogation techniques. I actually kind of like the idea of moving into something energy related. I've recently been boosting my energy percentage. We can kind of see here how we're doing there. So energy is up to 24. That's not that high. Space science is another one that's missing. So, the first order of business is to evaluate. Okay, so we have military, we have information, we have social, and xenology. Well, xenology is not... We don't need to worry about that. But so missing here is space. We aren't doing space. We aren't doing biology. Although we are just terrible at biology, just terrible. Life science at 5%. So that's not a particularly good option for us. Unfortunately, none of the space science ones are really interesting. And again, we shouldn't do this. This will double up on the quantum computing efforts. We don't want to do that. So I think it has to be energy. It's either energy or it's this. You know, I'm actually just going to make a decision to go with it. It's a 58% bonus, for crying out loud. It's pretty hard not to pick that. I mean, one of these two, but I think carbon nanotubes, we're definitely going to want that. I'm just going to click on it and go. So hopefully we maintain control of that. I would love to actually get control of arrival security. It's important to look at what is this tech going to unlock as far as faction projects go, and then if you really, really want those faction projects quickly, you should try to complete the thing first. Yeah, okay, never mind. We should catch him if I went full 3, but I don't want to do that, so we're just going to hand off humanity first there. Well, I thought I'd go over some of the projects we just realized just very quickly. We have PsyOps. Hopefully I remember the other one. This one gives +2 to unrest missions, but it also gives this unrest decrease by 3 in nations conquered by our armies. This is pretty good. I like both of these. So this is actually kind of worthwhile. We obviously, it hasn't been that long, less than a month since the technology finished, but we get them very quickly because we were the person who completed it, or with the most amount of research. And the other one was, what was it? Interrogation techniques. And this gives 25% to intelligence from interrogating detained prisoners. First of all, this was my only indication that detaining other agents actually gives you intel about the faction. I didn't know that until this tech came along, so there it is. But I also, since I don't detain other agents very often, not going to be a high priority. Alright, it's the middle of September 2027. We have just finished yet another rung of management research. I used to be like, this is not enough of a benefit, 5 points. Well, I think it was actually, I thought it was 3 points, or maybe it was 3 points, whatever. Now I'm not so sure, because maybe it actually feels a little more balanced. I think I had to wait it out, play the game enough to feel if this is good or not. I think it is. I'm not sure if we're going to go for the 4,000 right away, but the 3,000 was helpful. We're actually, okay, so we were very close to 0 at influence, and now with just an extra 5 points, we're pushed up to 2.1. By the way, this is not relative. The amount you pay for influence, I did the math. Well, I did it with Alechius. Alechius was the one who, I think, cracked the code in the end, but together we were looking at it, and we discovered that the amount of influence that you're going to pay as a penalty is that number that you're over, the amount you're over, so 446 minus 424, in this case 22, squared, so 22 times 22, whatever that is, 400, 500, whatever it is, divided by 365. So that should give us 1.3 a day, which is roughly 400 or 500 divided by 365. So there it is. That's the amount of influence you pay per day. Boom. What do we want to do next? Management research, still up there because it's possible. I mean, again, one of these days, Tortuga's going to have to go into space, but maybe that day is not today. No, I think I'm going to settle on improved maintenance procedures. If we don't already have a space science thing, let me just select that. Yeah, we don't already have a space science thing. We're going to probably have space science things. They will be popular. And this gives us a nice, very simple reduction of possible failures for our HAB stuff. Mission control. HAB? Mission control? Cascading failures and habit accidents. Yeah, so this is useful to have. We don't want to have those things. This will help. Now I get to go to this guy. Finally, Anand has reached 40. We can give him the senior military, senior military scientist, just to give you an idea again. This bonus goes from 15 up to 25, and the research goes up from 5 to 10. He also gains +1 science, so that also helps with the alien missions or whatever. Well, this is a bit alarming. I got a new Steam achievement for nuclear winter, but it was activated from a volcanic eruption. Huh. So there still have been 0 nukes fired in this game. Oh no. Okay, well that's also bad news. I didn't realize that would happen. But let me, one thing at a time here. Let's go to global. Well, let me just close this, but apparently we lost our hook with the servants. Again, we'll get her back. We'll get somebody else back. Yeah, so this stratospheric aerosols has gone up, and that's from the volcano, and the game actually thinks it's from a nuke, which is not true. But luckily, this is not a huge impact on the GDP. What are we looking at GDP-wise? 2%? Actually, the global cooling of this might actually be helpful. But I think we've been pretty good about keeping things environmentally friendly. That volcano is just a bummer, but we'll live with it. Other thing I wanted to cover is let's go back to this probe to Jupiter type business and actually get on that, because now it's pretty much the time to do it. If I sort by this, we should have one ready to go, and this is... I thought that the right time to launch was going to be... I thought it was November. Was it not November? Well, it's not November now, so we'll wait until February if I can remember. I mean, it probably was never November, but I don't know why I remember November. Probe just arrived back from Hertha, and I saw these numbers, 80.9, 29.8, and I was thinking, that is insane. I will definitely find an alien base there. Okay, well, that's not good. But I think that if we were to look at this alien base, they probably have some mining bonuses or something going on, right? That would mean that I don't know what the raw values are. It kind of actually doesn't make sense to show the modified values. I think it should only show the base values. And alien containment has been completed. Our architects have devised an alien containment facility that is disarmingly simple but highly effective in its design. Essentially, two concentric circles are placed at the precise center of a larger triangle. The inner detainment chamber utilizes a multi-stage particulate absorbing filtration system to protect against ferrocite release, so that we may safely monitor the entity from the outer circle. Each corner of the triangle houses a heavily armed guard post, the equal distance between ensuring that each that, in the unlikely event that a captive escaped, then slew or turned personnel within one of them, the other two can respond simultaneously. We have completed, yes, we have our prison, reinforced against both Hydra strength and Hydra ferrocites. Now we need an inmate. I wonder whether this will damage our relationship with the pro-alien factions less than simply killing a Hydra, or more. Interesting. Killing versus, I mean, in theory, it should damage it less. Okay, so now we have to capture a live Hydra, which is what this pop-up here is going to tell me. Our relations with the pro-alien factions are already strained, but I expect this will push them to the breaking point. Looked at objectively, it is only symmetrical. They have abducted us, now it is our turn to do the same to them. But I doubt fairness ranks high among their concerns. So it should be easy for us to spot them. I don't know how easy it will be to detain, hopefully easier than killing. Then that leaves the matter with what research to do next. And this one I might need to step away to think for a second, because it's not obvious to me which one we'd want to do. Again, acknowledging the fact that right now we are already using military, material science, information. So we don't have data science. That's notably absent from these. We also don't have energy. So those two, and we also don't have life science, but again, I'd like to save that for when we have a better boost. I plan to build some more space stations around Earth and then pack them full of some good life science research. I think that also boosts welfare, which is, not a bad thing. Saves the planet, gets rid of the bad stuff in the air and all that. We could also actually do this. This is interesting. Since I don't have xenology research, we're going to get the next thing pretty quickly, I think, the next research. This is a good one to do in the meantime. It's 10,000. It uses xenology. Let's do that. Probe came back from Cleopatra. This is a nice piece of rock that, unfortunately, Project Exodus has earned themselves already. Improved maintenance procedures has been completed. Very good. Very happy about that. Now, that does open up any of the space science ones that we wanted, but we don't have that much going on as far as space science goes, and I think it's time for me to finally buck up and get some military some science. Well, are we already doing research, though, on... Yeah... Because quantum batteries, that's a nice one to pick up. I think I'm just going to pick up strategic lobbying to kind of buy myself time. I haven't done either of these, but at some point it may get to arrive at a point where I want to do direct investment. And I haven't done it a lot yet. I always just try to rely on compound interest, getting the job done. If I just take over a place and make little improvements, percentage-wise improvements, slowly that should build upon itself. Anyway, let's do that. Oh, this one. This one. No. Had more. Yes, this one. Lick. It's our good old buddy Lick. 1950. I don't know where this is, but it is very, very good. And it is very far away. Where are you, Lick? Other than that, the next one is this one. Oh, okay, it was Hesperia. That was the one it was. But I might... Lick is very, very good. We are going to get Lick. Sorry, Lick. I don't know how to... Stupid me. Lick is the winner! I don't know what the... What land is really close, too. Okay, so, sites. This is just great. Found an outpost. 17 boost, 300 days. Boost, not a problem. Found. Okay, good. Now we gotta go back to the other one, since this isn't the one I was talking about, and do some considerations about whether that one is also worth it. Okay, if we sort by, again, I like to sort by fissiles, since that does clear off a lot of the places on the list I'm not interested in. Oh man. So Psych has an interesting distribution of stuff as well. Which one's better? Oh, it's tough. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, really. Hesperia has slightly less base metals, slightly more noble metals, and slightly more fissiles, which probably makes it a more attractive option. I wish I could actually see here how the distance away from them. I don't have a huge amount of base metals coming in, but I can probably get that somewhere else. Let's just focus on getting the fissiles completely wrapped up, which I think we've done a reasonable job of. My goodness, the Rushmore base, it just drives me nuts. Ganyang base as well. Initiative and Servants, man, the two probably worst factions who could have it. And then we have some Mars oversight on my part, some failures, which I have no one to blame but myself. Oh wow, this one's... That's a good one. Asonia. I have to look at that in the future. Okay, enough about that. Let's get Hesperia. And we need to just start mining everything. Okay, Hesperia. That's, yeah, I want it. I want it. This will take 600 days, but it doesn't matter. Claiming it is all we're interested in doing, and that's what we do. I mean, we get the claim the moment we press the button, that's the important thing. Okay, so middle of November, we'll see what happens. Wow, strategic lobbying is done already. So yeah, we need something else. I think I want to go with one of these. So our enemies suffer -3 on crackdown missions. That would be really nice. 7,500. Oof. Management research is even cheaper, which might be even better. I don't really want to do the Restored Warsaw Pact, not yet at least. We don't need maximum effort. No, I don't need an additional 5 orgs. This one's probably really cheap as well. Okay, it's 1,000, but it gives us another influence cost reduction for direct investment. Sadly, I wish these reduced the amount of money you needed, because I have influence, but I don't have money. I mean, money is going to be drained away very quickly later on, so that's one I'd like to keep building. Influence I'm a little bit less, concerned about. But okay, we'll do this for now, and then probably after that we'll switch back to management research. When that gets to 5,000, we'll probably switch over to executive privilege. And this is it. This is the one I've been waiting for. This is the November occurrence that I think I mistook for the probe arrival time. HAD module has completed on the Sophocles station in low Mars orbit, as has the construction module, and that should give us operational construction center. Now we can test this. My God, stop, servants! Even in the GUI, you're annoying. Yeah, so we can test this by quickly going to a site and seeing. Okay, so what are we mining right now? We are mining the ones with 90. 90. Oh, this is so good. And this one, oh, so good. And then we just need to pick another one. It's got to be this. Hands down, no question. In fact, it'll be this plus many more. Okay, and no don't think we have to worry too much about mission control. I am spreading out myself among asteroids that we probably don't really need, but that's fine. We're just going to do it anyway. Outpost mining complex. Which costs, let's put down build in space 60 days. Okay, 2.3. We already have 1.3k, 1.2k, 280. That takes 20 of our 280. So yeah, we're going to get this one up. We'll work on that. And 0.23, we have 55. No fissiles, but that's coming in a second. Or we can build it on Earth, take 300 days, 60 boost. Now boost is actually right now, I'm shocked. Project Exodus, I don't know how they do it. Their boost is still higher than mine. I thought that my boost was, it was really good, but we'll check out, let's do a resource comparison with all the factions in a second. Obviously, no brainer, we're going to build this in space. We have another one as well, we're going to build in space, which is a fission pile. It needs power. 0.1 for our 65, so we're still doing okay there. Actually, the nobles we might need to focus a little more on nobles and base metals. What else? Well, I guess we don't really need anything else right now. We may want to consider just starting putting outpost things everywhere here. We already spent the time to get here, right? Might as well take advantage of it. 4.7, 8.393. Okay. We're already mining this one. That's why it's 4.7. I was like, wait a second, that's actually pretty high. Let's see. We want high values of this. 38. 5.7. This is pretty good. So let's move to this one and also build here. I am so excited. I am really excited. This is so cool. Okay, build and build, and then we'll move on with on our merry way for a moment. And that is awesome. So the space station is up and running. It's perfect. We'll probably end up expanding this one. Eventually we're going to move to tier 2 stuff, but this will be a strong candidate for that. I also am considering, although, mission control is becoming more and more of a real potential problem, or, I wouldn't say a problem, a limit, but I think it might actually be time for us to start expanding. There's 5 out of 8 in low and Leo 1. Probably want to move to Leo 2 and start capturing some stuff there, but using the interface orbits for what they are meant for, which is giving a lot of boosts, a lot of bonuses for various things. Like we can start boosting more material science to get better military research, which is 100% on the shoulders of the US right now. We're up to rounding, we're up to 4.7. We're not actually up to 4.7. So that one's looking all right. We probably want some other, I don't even remember what the other bonuses are. Xenology would probably not be a bad one right now, not just for the tech boost, which is going to be ongoing, but even the detection or whatever it is, containment of aliens, I forget exactly what it does. Yeah, I guess let's just not even talk about it. Let's just get one more right away. I'll put this one in Leo 1. Found the platform. So we're at 20 out of 27, but I think we're going to make it worth it. I hope. Okay, so we want solar power, solar collector. We can build this in space, build it on Earth. It doesn't really matter in this case. I think 1.5 boost is very valuable, so we will build it in space. We also need to get eventually a station with a space dock. We haven't done. This could be the one actually. Although for some reason, I'd rather that one be in Leo 2. I guess then it's a little more buffered against Leo 1, which may or may not be a good thing, but I think it is. So Xenology Lab, this gives us +1 to alien detection, and then the usual space science gives us +3 to our mission control, which would be useful. Social science gives us, which we already have, a +1 strength to our public campaign missions. Military gives us the flat boost, which we don't care about. Not yet. Then we get the +3% bonus to military. This is the welfare one, which I think we actually need this because eventually we're going to want to do some life science research. And right now we just can't do it. This one only takes 5 power, so we can actually let's just do this. Stick 2 life science things on here. And that way we get a little bit better boost to welfare, but also we do need that tech. Welfare is going to help save the planet and all that, Information science will give us more knowledge boost. That's be another great one to do. And because we have great income as far as resources go, we really can afford to do a lot more stations up in the low orbit. So I probably should do that. Well, that was quick. Regulatory capture? No? Oh, okay, good. Maybe I should be looking more into that. But let's just build up one more management research. I think I'm going to want it eventually. We have pretty quick research. This will be done in March. Not bad. 4 months. Exactly 4 months. So I think I'll take that for an extra 5 points. We've been really pushing the points, and I don't know. Hopefully... Oh man, we're about to do that, so let me just wait. Okay, carbon nanotubes has been completed. It's early December. We're just trying to finish out this episode. I think it's going to go almost a full hour. Hope people don't mind. A little bit longer. And next up is a tough one. I think it's going to be advanced superconductors, just to not even to disguise or hide or like try to drum up any drama. But I think it'll be that. There are some other choices here. I even considered, oh gosh, where is it? Cybernetics? No. Advanced neural networks. I mean, let's just go to the tech tree real fast. I don't want to spend too much time here, but the tech tree is just awesome. I recommend people just go to the full tree and just explore. It's awesome. But advanced neural networks leads to a lot of good things. Let's see. Not that one. I hope I don't have to actually look. Yeah, I think it's in some of the minor things here. Cybernetics has been haunting me for a while, but we're already doing quantum computing, which shares. And this is the information science category as well. So what I'm going to do is push off both of these. We're not going to do either of those yet, since, you know, we could just replace the quantum computing path. Although I would like to get to the next counselor. I think we may need to wait a little bit on that. Mission to the inner planets. We're currently sitting in a fantastic situation as far as boost goes. Mission control, like it's okay, but we could do better. We could start opening up the inner planets if we wanted, getting those super farms, super solar farms. There's also, social science tech that we could consider getting. I think that, as I said, though, we're going to continue down the material science path because, one, I have a really nice bonus to material science, so I know that it's a way for me to kind of keep a lock on this. And it's a very short tech anyways, only 3,500. It unlocks a lot of very good tech. Oh, next generation aerospace. This is one of the ones I was considering doing. This opens up a lot of boost tech. Believe it or not, we don't really need that. But hey, look at this. A new generation of aircraft will transport our counselors. Anyways, advanced superconductors, let's just go with that because it'll complete pretty quickly. Oh my gosh, complete not so quickly. What? That doesn't make sense. I think we'll finish it faster than the 12th of September. That seems too far away. Such an interesting quote. I mean, it just seems silly. Alright, so arrival security is done, and we don't have any control over what was picked next, and it is next generation aerospace. Well, that is lovely, actually. That's perfect. Oh, well, okay. Besides the fact that it's sharing a tech with mine, it's perfect. But that means that we can probably, instead of doing management research, start pushing some of the military tech that we have here. Like mountain research. I think the mountain warfare is going to be a good one to pick up now. PsyOps probably goes first, and then mountain, and then, I mean, God knows, we probably can't do any of those things before this one finishes, but that's fine. Okay, well, basically this is perfect timing. It's right at the end of the year, so we can call this video to a close momentarily. But our HAB module and Donatello Station is up and running, which means we now have some amount of life science bonus. Last thing I just wanted to cover before we end the episode is the general disposition of the different factions. As far as, let's start with relations, since that's mostly shown. So we've avoided war with everyone except for the servants, and although I haven't even been aggressive against the servants for probably at least a month, they are at war with us, but, we're in good company. They're at war with everyone, except for Project Exodus. And Exodus is actually extremely tolerant in this playthrough. They're in conflict with the servants and myself, but they're only at war with the aliens, which is actually cool to see. On top of that, Humanity First has a very head-scratching perspective on things. They're tolerant of almost as many people as anybody else in the game, and that doesn't really strike me as a proper humanity first perspective, but that's just the way this game has developed so far. I can say that we've avoided being a target of their ire just by constantly trying to communicate with them. And I've actually tried to communicate with them frequently, but their agents keep going into hiding. So, next step for me, I could actually try to communicate with Project Exodus and try to get on their good side. Then we would only need to... Well, I mean, everyone's going to be moved towards in conflict with us eventually, but at least we're not doing... I feel like we're doing pretty well on the diplomatic front. Last but not least, resources. And the main thing, if I had one thing to highlight, it would be this. I love this. I love this so much. The servants' research is only at 21.7. We're at 90.2 to give you some perspective. But, I mean, probably better just to show that everyone else is around 30, or Humanity First is at 38. So even among the factions, the AI factions, the servants are woefully behind in terms of tech. And that means it's going to take them a long time to get Hydra language. Thank goodness. We also plan to scout around, try to find them, and when Hydra language gets even remotely close, I'll try to sabotage it, keep the servants from making any forward progress. We can also see that they are at 291. Basically, the resistance and the initiative and the servants are a little bit behind, whereas Humanity First and Project Exodus are doing pretty well as far as the world goes. Other resources of concern, I mean, I guess you can just take a look for yourself. One thing which is I find has swung wildly is back, at least in the previous games I've played, the AI used to hoard money, like probably too much. They used to have tons, like hundreds of K of money. And now obviously they don't, but it's actually weird, they actually don't seem like they have enough money. And I'm not in very good shape as far as money goes. Sure, I have 40K, but my income is not very good. Although, yeah, this doesn't show the spoils income. Mission Control, looks like Humanity First is doing pretty good. Project Exodus is insane. Their boost is insane. It's higher than mine. I'm at 0.8, and I have like every boost org I can find. They're at 1.1, and they're just blowing me away in that aspect. They're doing better in terms of command. I mean, Project Exodus is very powerful. I think that we could see them make a strong push to the finish. And because they're generally a pretty big opponent of the aliens, I'm all for that. In fact, Project Exodus, I don't know what their end game is, but supposedly they can win and you can still win too. So, good on them. So we'll root for them. But that's going to call this video to a close. Very long video to a close. Until the next one, thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.